Hi everybody, and welcome once again to the Galway TV studio, Galway Cup TV studio I should say. And with me I have Shane Robinson, who's the Assistant Director of Football with the FAI, and the Head of Development Education at Regan, and Craig Sexton, who's the Head of Coach Education. And guys, it's wonderful to have you all here today for the Galway Cup. You were just outside watching some games. What did it seem like to you out there? Did you enjoy the games? Standard good?
Yeah, good. Different mix of levels, I suppose, like a place for everybody in terms of the levels, so different gradings of games, different age groups, male, female, so the main thing, everybody's out there having fun, enjoying the games, and spectators as well. Lovely facility for everybody to watch the games, but yeah, it's been really good so far.
That's great. And from, it seemed to me, just looking at it in general, and it has done over the last couple of years, that most of the teams come here now, and you can see that they've been well coached. So the guys are going through the coaching education system and availing of the courses and that.
Yeah, definitely. Look, there's been huge engagement in terms of coach education previously, now coach development, and that's only going to grow under Craig's leadership as we bring an implementation plan now with the football pathways plan and looking to redevelop what we do and be a little bit more holistic and provide even more support to the coaches. And I suppose for me looking at it today, it's always great to see the referees that are also getting an opportunity to challenge themselves with different ages of players, different challenges, because you've got some players are younger, some players are more physically developed, so it's also not just the coaches educating and developing themselves, looking at the referees and even the wider education for the parents and the context that they have and the influence and role that they can have in terms of young players' development. It's so important that parents understand that they're also their role models and that they can encourage and support and just be a positive influencer. But it's great, it's been very enjoyable, and the weather hasn't been too bad.
Oh, it wasn't too bad. It didn't rain all the time, but some of the time. And I agree, you saying that from the coaching and education perspective now, it's really important that clubs have everybody and also at the different levels go through the coaching pathway.
Yeah, and that's where we need to have people who have expertise, for a better word, that specialise in areas and have the tools that they can deal with age and stage players, and whether they're parent volunteer or a coach at a higher licence level, that they have the ability to support the players, whether it's creating a love for the game at a younger age or challenging players like what we've seen outside today, that they can have the tools to deal with tournament football, week to week football, or as I said, create the love for the game as much as possible. So age and stage is crucial.
Yeah, because the whole essence of what coaching is all about has changed so much over the last few years. It used to be some guy get a kit bag with 35 drills in it that they'd bore the kids to death with every week for 3 or 4 hours and then go out and expect them to win a match. So I think things have moved on from that, have they not?
Yeah, look, I think for now it's nearly self-regulation with the younger players. Like they've got so many aspirations to play at the highest level, and there's so many influences from social media, and they nearly want it more themselves. I think when we were all growing up, it was very much you go when you're playing, the manager or the coach was there to really sort of drill you into technically developing yourself. While young players are doing that now and they're challenging themselves, and it's a different environment, and because of that we have to provide different supports, and we have to make sure that we're getting as much contact time with the players as we possibly can, and the coaches are there and understand what their role is and how they can support, nurture and develop the young person. And I think Craig said it, the key message is helping them just fall in love with the game, and the football pathways plan is going to do that. It's going to keep younger players in the game for longer, especially in Shane's area in the talent development space. Then for those higher potential ones, it's how can we keep more of them in there and how can we support them.
Yeah. And on the whole area of talent development and identification and that kind of stuff, when you're kids change so much from 13 to 16, and it can be a good thing and a bad thing for some kids depending on how they deal with it, cognitively and stuff like that.
Yeah, we were only having that conversation earlier, I suppose, in terms of with the under 15s international head coach, looking at the age groups and saying, look, it's a really difficult area. Kids go through growth spurts, and the difference in, I suppose, even size of some kids that are 13, 14, 15, but look, we're looking at the technical ability, I suppose, of the boys and girls, and we see that's improved over the last number of years. Obviously, we have to put a real emphasis on that area. But again, in terms of supporting players, in terms of the growth and maturation of players, that we're monitoring and working with clubs and sharing some data amongst each other, and I suppose learning from each other. But you can see the differences in physicality. But again, when we're looking at it, I suppose we're looking at it from a technical point of view at the moment and seeing, look, can a child receive, pass, and have that love for the football. I suppose we speak about the love of the game, but just wanting the ball and expressing themselves in a nice environment, and it's been good to see plenty of that out there today.
Yeah, I said plenty of that. And Greg, I suppose from your perspective as well, there's an evolution going on in the whole coach education side of it, because the coaching courses per se for coaches have changed dramatically over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. From previous to Niall's time leading the department to now where we are, the evolution has been huge. We're moving from a competency-based approach to an expertise approach across all levels, more greater emphasis on e-learning, supporting coaches in their clubs, mentorship. There's a big shift around how we can support the individual versus can we deliver an education course and send people on the way. I think that needs to be where it is, which will fall in line with Shane's element of player development. So
yeah, because what we've seen in the Galway Cup over a good number of years is when we have the district league sides, you know, your Sligos and your Cavan Monaghan's and stuff like that coming in, we've always seen here the obvious influence of the RDOs in those areas, where they've gone in and worked with them. So they're taking the ball down, they're passing it, rather than maybe in the past there'd be some lad on the sideline just telling them to hoof as far as they possibly could. And that's, you know, sadly, or not sadly, but gladly we moved away from that. And I think what we're seeing out here today kind of rubber stamps that.
Yeah, and I think an evolution of that now will be in the football pathways plan, the head of football role, and having a head of football in every single club in the country, and also in every one of the leagues in the country. So it's building on that premise of having that expertise or having that person that can really understand when they're working with the youngest kids what they have to do to develop them. And I think by having people physically in every single club and having the presence and having the messages getting to the clubs and getting through the league centres, you're only going to see more events like today, different types of football. And the biggest takeaway for me is that how can we maximise a child's opportunity to play the game? You know, how can we make sure that they're playing the game 12 months of the year? I think that's going to take a lot of change, and it's going to have everybody, whether it be clubs or leagues, to come on board with us. And I think the football pathways plan will do that for us.
Yeah, and I think that getting the clubs in the leagues, like here in Sultan Devon, we recognise that is a key element of the thing, and we've recently appointed Billy Cleary, who's an ex-League of Ireland player, and you know, and who's making serious advancements in the coaching world. And he just in the last 2 months alone has been a breath of fresh air. And like we were doing a lot of things right, but now it's getting fine-tuned, you know, because we were also doing some things that weren't right. So we needed to get that sorted out, and that's the influence that's coming from initially from you guys and down to the head coaches and that, and it's wonderful to see.
And I think the more we have those types of head of football roles, and Billy has obviously come through the pathway all the way up to the Elite Today licence, he's huge playing experience, he knows the area. So having people like in the club, that know the people, it's so impactful, because rather than just having somebody in a regional basis trying to cover 30, 40 or 50 clubs, you're now going to have 30, 40, 50 people in every single one of the clubs. And then you build communities of practice and people that can connect and network, and a lot of what we do from Craig's perspective in coach development will support that, nurture it, and it just becomes a much more effective communication line, and the end product will be we get better players, better coaches, and more people fall in love with the game.
Well, I think as well from the Galway Cup perspective and from the Sultan Devon perspective, it copper fastens the notion that the FAI are serious about this stuff, because you guys have turned up here today for the Galway Cup. And Mark was here with Pate earlier on, and we were chatting about the same, about the whole pathways and that type of thing. So it's brilliant for us in the Galway Cup that you guys have taken the time out today to come down and see what's happening and see how it can fit into what you're trying to do, and it's wonderful to see.
Well, thanks for having us, really. It's been great. Well done to you, and another fabulous event.
Thanks very much.
excellent, fair play.